Hi guys, welcome to Pratham Test Prep again. This is your host Sanjeet, Bhatia, and we are back again with another video for your cases for your CLAT and AILET. Hi Kunal, hi, hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. Okay, so we have met for another video today to discuss these important cases that are there. We have to understand that these cases might pop up in your exam, and these are some of the landmark cases that we've been discussing for a long amount of time now. It's been more than 3 months that we've been discussing your cases in legal affairs and different strategies for different examinations that come up to you. So before we start, a like, share, and subscribe will be great from your end, as it keeps us motivated to make more videos for you guys on daily basis. So definitely do like, share, and subscribe. Okay, now if you are planning to give CLAT, AILET, any of the exams, law entrances, you can definitely become a part of our Telegram channel, that is CLAT@Pratham. That is definitely something that there you'll find free material for last 2 months, 2 years, and definitely for your examination there is a lot of free material that is available to you, and you can also indulge yourself in the quizzes and also become a part of the family by getting all the recent updates that happen at Pratham Test Prep. Now, if you are someone who's looking for mentorship or counseling, you can definitely give us a call on 5x9 75392. That is really important. If you are looking for test papers, you're looking for mentorship, you're looking for guidance on how to go about universities or any other course inside the country or abroad, you can definitely give us a call on 5x9 75392. Okay, so now starting with the cases for today, I will be very quick because your AILET is approaching. It is in next one day, right? It's happening on the 30th of July, so I don't want to waste a lot of time for you guys, so it's going to be a very quick session, so that there are some cases that were left from our last session, and I wanted to complete all of them for you, so that now we are absolutely prepared for going for AILET, right? So definitely you can keep that on your mind, that these cases are the landmark judgments that have happened inside the country. Okay, so starting from the first case of the day, that is Champakam Dorijan versus the state of Madras. This was a very important landmark case that happened. Now, this led to the first amendment of the constitution. Right now, here the Supreme Court struck down the communal government order, which provided caste-based reservation in the government jobs and colleges. Right now, the Supreme Court also held that the order violates Article 16(2) of the Constitution. Right, so this was a landmark judgment that came out. Okay, and there are a lot of landmark judgments that you will find coming up from the Supreme Court and different high courts. Now, what does Article 16(2) says that the Constitution, no citizen shall be discriminated on the grounds of race, religion, caste, sex, descent, place of birth, residence, and any be illegible, discriminated in any respect. Okay, that is what it is saying, that such reservation on the basis of the communal orders, right, definitely creates a point where we have to understand that it is against the constitutional right, and it is against the and it is discriminatory in nature. That is why the Supreme Court held that it violates Article 16(2) of the Constitution of India. I hope everybody is clear with that. I'm gonna take it really quick for you, and it is the most shortened way to explain the cases, so that you understand in what case what happened and what did the court say, and why are these the landmark judgments. Okay, so now here you can see it is about reservation, and it talks about that there is a discrimination on the basis of caste, sex, gender, place of birth. So that is why it was held that the Supreme Court held that it is violative of Article 16(2) of the Constitution. Hope everybody is clear with this case. Coming to the next case is Mithu versus State of Punjab. Now, what was happening is that the Supreme Court invalidated Section 303 of the Indian Penal Code, which provided for a mandatory death sentence for murder committed by a life convict. Basically, here, if someone, okay, commits a crime inside the jail while they are a life convict, okay, that they commits a murder inside the jail, after being a life convict, then he can be given a death penalty, right? So now the Supreme Court has said that it is an invalid section. Okay, it is invalidated under section 3, the section 303. Now, what does section 303 says? It used to define the punishment for murder by life convicts. Okay, whoever being under the sentence of imprisonment for life commits murder shall be punished with death. तो सोचिए वो पहले से ही जेल में है, उसके बाद भी अगर वो मर्डर कमिट कर देते हैं, then it will lead them to death penalty. But the Supreme Court has invalidated this section 303 of the Indian Penal Code. So definitely there is no mandatory death sentence that has to be provided to the murder convicts. Okay, I hope everybody is clear with this case. Also a very easy case, very easy to understand. I've kept only the important parts of the case that you have to remember, nothing more than that. Okay, now coming to the next case for the day, that is Nandini Satpathy versus PL Dani, right? Now, this was an important case that happened. Now, the case says that the police must inform the accused that he has a right to call a lawyer before answering any of their questions, right? अगर आपने काफी सारी movies में देखा होगा, बहुत सारी TV series में देखा होगा, that a lot of people say that I want my lawyer, please मेरे वकील को बुलाया जाए, then only I will answer the question. So the police has to inform the accused that he has a right to call a lawyer before answering any of these questions. Okay, they can call a lawyer. It is something that is their right, and the police has to inform the person about their rights, that before answering any questions, they can definitely call a legal aid for themselves. So this was held in Nandini Satpathy versus PL Dani. This was the name of the case where this was held. Okay, so DU-JAT would be conducted on the dates released by DU-JAT. Yes, obviously, Aditi, it will be held on the dates that are given by DU-JAT. Okay, now Hasinara Khatun versus Home Secretary, State of Bihar. Now you have to see that this is also a very, very important case. Once you go into the law school, you will find a lot of important cases like Hasinara Khatun, and you'll be studying these cases in detail. But here I am just here to tell you what were these landmark judgments and why were they considered landmark. Now, here in this Hasinara Khatun, the Supreme Court talked about the speedy trial, right, where the person who was there in conviction have to be tried speedily so that there is speedy justice and everybody can get back to work once the decision is given. So they want it to be quick, right? They want quick decision making for these kinds of cases. Now the court recognized that this right to speedy trial and the right to legal aid services, right? So the court has seen that these are the important rights for a person, right? The person has a right to speedy trial and has the right to legal aid services. That is what the court has held, that it is a right of the person. Speedy trial is a right. Simple as that. इसके अंदर आपको समझ में आ जाना चाहिए. दो rights दिए थे courts ने. पहला right to speedy trial. The second was the right to legal aid services. Okay, so these were two rights that the court was talking about in Hasinara Khatun versus Home Secretary, State of Bihar. Now coming to the next case, that is Sheila Barse versus Union of India. Now the court held that the right to legal aid is a fundamental right. Okay, now you have to understand that when something becomes a fundamental right, so their violation will also have a lot of remedies that is available to them. Okay, so now the legal aid is considered to be fundamental right under Article 14 and under Article 21 of the Constitution of India, right? So this is Sheila Barse versus Union of India, which has recognized legal aid as a fundamental right and also is considered under Article 14 and Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Now, coming to the next case for the day, that is Arbumai versus Union of India. Now here, there were a lot of questions that have come up in Arbumai. The first part was that the power of the president to issue proclamation under Article 356 is not an absolute power. So basically, proclamation, when the state is not being able to perform or they're not being able to prove their majority and everything of that sort, then the president has the power to call for a proclamation, but here it was said that the proclamation of such power under Article 356 is not an absolute power. Okay, it's not absolute. Okay. Now the court also held that the secularism was a part of the Indian Constitution before the word secular was added in the preamble. ठीक है जी. तो सिंपल बोला कि ये सेकुलरिज्म पहले से ही पार्ट है इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, इवन बिफोर द वर्ड सेकुलर was added in the preamble of the constitution. Now the court also declared secularism as a part of the basic structure of the constitution, right? So as you all know, amending the basic structure of the constitution is not possible. So that is why the court said that the preamble is also, the court also declared secularism as a part of the basic structure, that it cannot be amended and it will always be the part of the basic structure. Now the court also declared that preamble indicates the basic structure of the constitution. Okay, so the preamble tells us about the basic structure of the constitution, so it is not possible to amend such a preamble. Right now, as you can see, I have written what does Article 356 tells you about. It tells about the provisions in case of failure of constitutional machinery inside the state. So that is what is the power of the president to issue proclamation, so which is defined under Article 356, and the court has said that it is not an absolute power. Okay, so I hope you have understood the same. Now coming to the next case for the day, that is C. Mehta versus Union of India. I have also given you the citations for the cases if you are interested in reading them. That is AR 1987, SC 965. Okay, so you will understand about citations once you are inside the law school. So I would wait for you to understand the citations on your own. Now, here in this case, the Supreme Court has evolved the concept of absolute liability. Okay, here the Supreme Court is talking about absolute liability. The court held where an enterprise is engaged in a hazardous and inherently dangerous activity. Okay, हमने absolute liability आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने torts में पढ़ी होगी, but here the court is talking about that if an enterprise is engaged in a hazardous and an inherently dangerous activity, and the harm results to anyone on the account of an accident in the operation of such hazardous and inherently dangerous activity, resulting, for example, in case of toxic gas, right? What happened in Bhopal gas tragedy, right, is strictly and absolutely liable to compensate all those who are affected by the accident, and such liability is not subjected to any of the exceptions which operate vis-a-vis the tortious principle of strict liability under the rule of Rylance versus Fletcher. Okay, so basically, अगर कोई इंसान hazardous activity कर रहा है, dangerous activity कर रहा है inherently, so it will definitely lead to them getting strictly liable, and there is no exception in this particular case. You have to understand that, and they will be like liable for such escape of gases or any material that comes out of their land, and this will create a absolute liability on them. Okay, now these are the cases. Now the next is Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India. This case is related to the offense of bigamy, right? Now the conflict between the personal laws and the strong need for the uniform civil code in the country, right? That is what is being said. Now the court held that the second marriage, okay, now there are a lot of Hindu people who used to tend to convert to Islam so that they can marry more than one woman. Okay, now the court held that the second marriage of a Hindu man after being converted to Islam will be invalid if the first marriage has not been dissolved. Okay, so that means a Hindu man cannot marry 2 to 3 women as it is allowed in Islam, right? And even if he's converted into Islam, he cannot do that because he has to invalidate his first marriage. Okay, he has to dissolve that first marriage, then only he can go up and marry again, right? That is what is being said in Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India. That is why it is being said that there is a strong need for a UCC, that is a Uniform Civil Code inside the country, so that these kinds of things don't happen and the rights of the people and individuals can be taken care of. Okay, so that is what is really important. Now there is Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan. Now this is a very important case, is that the court defined sexual harassment at workplace and laid down the guidelines to be followed at the workplace against sexual harassment, right? So you have to understand that I have explained this case in detail to everyone, so that is something that you can go and watch in our previous YouTube videos. But definitely Vanchika guidelines is a very important part, where all the guidelines for the sexual harassment at workplace have been written down, and it is definitely something that you have to remember, that it is the most important case when we are talking about sexual harassment in the country. And Vanchika guidelines have been followed, and it tells us about all the things that has to be followed while there is a sexual harassment complaint that is filed by a person inside an organization, and it also deals with sexual harassment at workplace, right? So that is why Vanchika guidelines and Vishaka guidelines is very important. That is why this case also becomes one of the landmark cases, that is Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan, right? So these are the landmark judgments and the landmark cases for the day. The next is Nalsa versus Union of India. That is, the Supreme Court affirmed the constitutional rights and the freedom of transgender and recognized them as the third gender, right? So that is what the court has said. Now, as we all know, that there has been an increase in the movement of transgenders inside the society, which is a positive impact, and that is a great step. I'm really sorry. So it is a great step that is being taken by the Supreme Court, and there are a lot of things that have been happening in the transgender community. We got the first transgender doctor. Now there is a transgender protection bill that also came up. So there is a huge change in the society that is being brought about the third gender. So it is really important. The Supreme Court affirmed that the constitutional right and the freedom of the transgenders and recognize them as the third gender. So that is what happened in the Nalsa versus Union of India case. Now the last case for the day is Shreya Singhal versus Union of India. You will definitely find this case at a lot of places. Now what happened in Shreya Singhal is that the Supreme Court struck down the section 66A of the Information Technology Act, right, and declared it to be unconstitutional, right? So what was there is for sending offensive messages through communication services. Any person who sends by means of computer resources or communication devices any message that is offensive in nature has a punishment defined under 66A, right? So there are a lot of things that have been mentioned under the section 66A. You can definitely go and read up on the section, but it definitely provides for a punishment that can be extended to 3 years and fine or both, right? So you can also see it in that manner. That is why Shreya Singhal has become a really important landmark case in the Indian judiciary that we have seen for so far. And you'll be definitely reading this case once you are in the law school also. There will be a detailed analysis that you will find regarding the Shreya Singhal versus Union of India case, right? So that is it for today, guys. Thanks for joining the session. Now, I hope everybody will be going for their AILET exam a day after tomorrow. So best of luck, everyone, for your exam. I hope you do great and bring laurels to yourself and to your parents, and work hard for the AIM college that you have made. And definitely stay safe, use your mask, use your hand sanitizers, maintain social distancing, do double masking while you are going for the paper, and definitely be aware about how you are filling the OMR sheets, and keep practicing. Best of luck to everyone. Hope to see you soon. I guess this is the last session before all your law entrances are over. So definitely best of luck to everyone. It was a nice journey for everyone this year. I hope you enjoyed and you got some of the knowledge from my part and from the team that we have been maintaining for so long. So thank you all. Best of luck. Take care. Stay safe. And all the best for your future endeavors. Bye-bye, guys.